barn was dark. Not the dark that hides things, but the dark that wraps around them like a blanket. The kind of dark that holds the smell of hay and dust and the slow breathing of sleeping animals. Inside that barn, on a bed of soft straw, there was a sheep. Her name was Alara, and she could not sleep. She had tried closing her eyes. She had tried lying very, very still. She had tried counting the cracks in the wooden beam above her head. There were 47 of them. She knew this because she had counted them 12 times. The last time, a spider had walked across crack number 32, and Alara had lost count. Her wool felt warm and heavy on her back. The straw beneath her rustled every time she shifted. Outside, the night air was cool and still. She could hear the distant hoot of an owl, low and soft, like a question asked to the moon. "Why can't I sleep?"
Hello?
She
Is anyone
whispered to
there?
the dark. The dark did not answer, but the mouse who lived in the corner of the hayloft, a small creature named Pip, poked his head out of his nest. His whiskers twitched.
Sometimes I worry about
Are
the
you
little
counting
ones
again?
out in the cold.
He asked.
But we are safe
Alara
here
sighed.
in the moonlight.
"I have
1,
counted
2, 3,
47
4,
cracks.
5, 16,
she said.
17, 18, 19, 20,
I have counted 37
100,
blades of
101,
straw.
102.
I have counted the rafters and the nails and the times the wind pressed against the door. But my eyes will not close." Pip blinked. "Have you tried counting the stars?" "The stars are outside," Alara said, "and I am in here." "Then count yourself," Pip said, and disappeared back into the hay. "That is a strange idea, is it not? Counting yourself. But maybe that is where the answer hides. If you would like to join Alara and Pip on more quiet, sleepy adventures, ask your grown-up to subscribe to this gentle little channel. And in the comments, tell me, what is the silliest thing you have ever counted when the night felt too long? Meadowlarks, dewdrops, somewhere between a whisper and a straw. There might be a secret waiting. Alara considered this. Count herself. It was a strange idea, but she was very tired, and her mind was full of soft, tangled thoughts like wool that had not been brushed. She closed her eyes and began to count. 1. She felt a heartbeat in her chest. 2. She felt the straw beneath her, the weight of her own body. 3. She felt the warmth of her own wool, like a second blanket. 4. She took a breath, slow and deep. 5. She heard the wind outside brushing against the barn door. 6. The owl called again, farther away now. 7. She felt her thoughts begin to soften like butter left in the sun. 8. She pictured herself lying in the straw from above, like a small white cloud on a bed of gold. 9. Her breathing slowed. Her legs stopped shifting. 10. She counted again. 1, 2, 3. But it was herself she was counting. And that made the numbers feel different. They were not numbers on a beam or blades of straw. They were her. Each number was a breath. Each breath was a moment. Each moment was a small, quiet step towards something soft and warm and dark. But then she stopped. Something was wrong. She had been counting herself for a long time. She had reached 47 breaths, and then 58, and then 72. But she was still awake. The counting had not helped. She felt more awake than before. "Pip," she whispered. The mouse's head appeared again. "Yes?" "I counted myself," Alara said, But it did not work. I am still awake. Pip tilted his head. How did you count yourself? 1 for each breath, Elara said. 73 breaths so far. Pip was quiet for a moment. Then he said, But you were the one counting. That means every time you counted a breath, you were also counting the one who counted. So you were counting yourself twice. Elara blinked. The thought was strange and new, like a door she had not noticed before. So I counted myself, and I counted myself at the same time, she asked. Yes, Pip said. You became the count and the counter, and that is a very hard thing to keep track of. No wonder you are still awake. Elara lay still in the straw, thinking about this. It felt true. Every time she had counted herself, she had also been the one doing the counting. She was the subject and the object, the her who counted and the her who was counted, the two of them tangled together in the dark. She opened her eyes and looked up at the beam above her. The spider was still there, sitting still on crack number 32. The moon had moved a little and a sliver of its light fell through a gap in the roof, making a small silver pool on the straw. She understood something then. The counting was not the point. The point was the pause between the numbers, a small space where nothing was counted, nothing was measured, nothing was kept track of. I've been trying too hard, she said softly. That moment of letting go, that is the heart of every sleepy secret. We learn it together, here, under the barn roof. If you want to rest beside Elara and Pip on more nights like this one, ask your grown-up to subscribe, so we can share these quiet discoveries again and again. And in the comments, tell me, what helps you stop trying and just be still? A deep breath? A warm blanket? Sometimes the answer is as simple as a pause. Pip did not answer, but she heard him rustle back into his nest. The barn was quiet again. The owl had stopped calling. Elara stopped counting. She stopped trying to fall asleep. She simply lay there in the straw under the silver light and let the dark hold her. She felt the cool air on her nose. She heard the slow, heavy breathing of the cow in the stall beside her. She smelled the hay and the dust and the faint sweetness of apples from the loft above. The farm at night was not silent. It was full of small sounds, all of them soft, all of them gentle, all of them saying the same thing. Rest now. You have done enough. Her eyelids grew heavy. Her wool seemed to grow warmer, as if the night itself was tucking her in. She thought of the field she had grazed in that morning, the green grass, the yellow sunlight, the bees moving from clover to clover. She thought of the taste of the cool water from the trough, and the way the earth felt soft under her hooves. 1, she took a breath. 2, she let it go. 3, she did not count anymore. She just breathed. And then, somewhere between a thought and a dream, Elara the sheep drifted into sleep. Her body softened. Her breathing deepened. The small silver pool of moonlight moved across the straw, inch by inch, like a slow river of light. The barn was dark again, but not the dark that hides things. The dark that wraps around them like a blanket. And inside that dark, wrapped in her own warm wool, Elara was dreaming of a field full of stars, where every star was a sheep, and every sheep was counting itself into a soft, endless night. The night grew older. The moon climbed higher, and the pool of silver light on the straw grew smaller, until it was nothing but a thin line against the wood. The cow in the next stall settled deeper into her sleep. The horse shifted once, and then was still. The chickens in the coop beside the barn murmured in their dreams. Ilara dreamed. She dreamed of a stream that ran through the meadow, clear and cold. She dreamed of drinking from it, the water so cold it made her teeth ache. She dreamed of a butterfly landing on her nose, and the feather-light tickle of its feet. She dreamed of the sun, warm and yellow, and the feel of grass between her lips. And then she dreamed of the counting again. But this time it was different. This time, she was not counting herself. She was counting the space between one heartbeat and the next. And in that space, there was nothing. Just quiet. Just silence. Just the soft, infinite dark. She woke for a moment. The barn was still dark. Pip was still asleep. The spider was still on crack number 32. Everything was as it had been. But something in Ilara had changed. She had discovered a secret. Not a secret you can tell, but a secret you can feel. The secret was this. The counting was never the answer. The stillness between the numbers was where the sleep lived, and she had found it. She closed her eyes. A small smile touched her lips, though she did not know why. The hay rustled as she curled into herself, a circle of white wool and warmth, and the farm breathed around her. The wind sighed through the barn door. The moon continued its slow journey across the sky. Somewhere, a leaf fell from a tree and landed softly on the grass. And in the straw, under the beam with the spider on crack number 32, Ilara the sheep slept as deeply as she had ever slept. She dreamed of nothing at all. Just the warm, dark, quiet nothing that comes after all the counting is done. And that was enough. The first light of dawn was still hours away. The barn held its quiet, deep and full. Ilara's breath came soft and even, a rhythm as old as the hills around the farm. In her dream, she was not a sheep anymore. She was a cloud, floating above the meadow, feeling the wind pass through her. She was mist, rising from the stream. She was the scent of clover carried on the night air. Then the dream shifted. She was back in the barn, but everything was different. The cracks in the beam were gone. The beam was whole and smooth, polished by time. The spider was not on crack number 32 because there were no cracks to sit on. The straw beneath her was not straw at all, but something softer, warmer, like the inside of a mother's flank. She understood. The counting had stopped. The trying had stopped. The wanting had stopped. And in that stopping, something had opened. A door she had not known was there. The door was made of quiet. She walked through it, in the dream, and found herself in a field that stretched in every direction. There was no fence, no barn, no moon, just grass, soft and deep, and a sky full of stars so close she could feel their light on her wool. At the center of the field there was a single tree, an old oak, its branches wide and kind. Beneath it, A lamb was sleeping. A lamb that looked exactly like her, but smaller, younger, softer. The lamb was dreaming the same dream. Ilara knew this because she could feel it. The lamb's dream and her dream were the same. She lay down beside the lamb. The grass was cool. The stars were quiet. The tree held the sky like a mother holds a child. And Ilara, the sheep who could not sleep, slept. When morning came, the light slipped through the gaps in the barn walls, thin and golden. The cow lowed softly. The horse stamped once. Pip the mouse stretched his tiny legs and poked his head out of the hayloft. Ilara was still curled in the straw. Her wool was dusted with bits of hay. Her breath was slow. Her eyes were closed. Pip watched her for a long moment. He saw the small smile on her face, the way her body had softened into sleep like water settling into a pool. He did not wake her. He simply returned to his nest, tucked himself in, and let the morning wait. Because some journeys end not with the door closing, but with a sheep sleeping under a tree that only exists in a dream. And that is how Ilara learned to rest. Not by counting, not by trying, not by chasing sleep across the dark, but by stopping, by being still, and by trusting that the quiet would catch up with her, like the dawn catches up with the night. That secret, the quiet catching up, is worth holding on to. If you want to keep this gentle feeling close and join Ilara on more starry nights, ask your grown-up to subscribe so we can share the stillness again. And in the comments, tell me one thing that helps you feel safe and quiet when the world grows dark. Maybe it is a sound, a smell, or just a breath. Your secret can be as soft as a lamb's dream. It always does.